Man is a piece of the universe made alive. Now, when I grew up in the great state of Michigan that's surrounded by 90% of all the fresh water in the United States. We have more shoreline than the entire East Coast put together. So if you live in Michigan, everybody lives on water. Granted, it's frozen a third of the year, but we all live on water. So my grandfather was a Hungarian immigrant, and we would go fishing with him all the time. And one of the amazing things is when he'd take us out, he would show us how nature was alive. The fish were alive, and the clouds were alive, and the trees were alive, and everything around us was alive. And what he was trying to show us is that we are not the center of the universe, that everything around us that's moving is pursuing power, progeny, or pleasure. The world is growing, and the object is, can we grow with the world? So the first sort of rule, or the first guideline, is very simple. We are beings in the world trying to transcend it. The great philosopher Martin Heidegger coined the term beings in the world. And he said, the problem with philosophy is we think we're gods looking down on the world. But we're actually encased in all kinds of challenges in the world. And we are having to respond and draw on this world. Now, in a wonderful book by Teilhard de Chardin, the great Jesuit philosopher of the last century, his big thing was that we are all in an act of becoming. But one of the challenges that we all have about trying to transcend the world is that even though we have this great capacity as human beings, the only way in which we can actually transcend the world is by the process of creativity. It is the reason that we create. Now, don't say that man is the only animal that creates. That's simply not true. Chimpanzees create, dolphins create, Chaldean crows create. But man is the only animal that knows and knows he knows. Putting it another way, ladies and gentlemen, no one gets out of here alive. That is the existential condition. And that is the reason that we create. And what makes us unusual is we're able to share this with other human beings. In fact, the great Alabaman, a Harvard professor, if you know E.O. Wilson's work, talks about what distinguishes human beings from everyone else in the world is our ability and our capacity to translate imagination into language and to share that. This is how we build cities. This is how we build airplanes. This is how we build civilizations.